Hello, my fellow introverts. Stacy here, your programming and test automation expert. Today we're starting our journey with the magic methods of Python. If you don't know what magic methods are, I will try to explain you what is this concept and how to apply it in practice. But today we're going to focus on one particular magic method, which is called del, and I will show you a use case that you can use anywhere, basically on any project. But before we start, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. So now, let's get on with it. So, what are the magic methods? If you remember, a couple of months ago we had a video about the underscore, and one of the topics of this video, when we were talking about multiple underscores, was actually the magic methods. The most common magic method that probably everyone uses if they are using object-oriented programming in Python is init. So init consists from underscore, underscore, init, underscore, underscore. So it has double underscores by each side of the method name. They're also called Dundler methods because they have these double underscores by both sides. So what's the trick? What's the magic here? Magic methods are predominantly used for operator overloading. What does it mean? Whenever you use an operator on an object, then if it has some magic methods defined in it, then this logic which is defined inside of this magic method, which corresponds the operator that you're using, it will be called and executed. For example, if you have two objects and you have defined an add magic method, and you perform the add operation between them, so you do object 1 plus object 2, then this add magic method is going to be called. There are multiple different options, different functionalities of magic methods. You can also control what happens when an object is deleted or created, when an attribute is created or deleted, and multiple different others. So today we will just cover one of the magic methods, but this is going to be a whole series where I will try to show you the most popular ones. So today we're looking at the del magic method. But before I can show you something, we have to create a class because this is a method, so it requires to have a class. So let's go ahead and create a class. So we will call it some class. And now we can define our magic method. So def del, and here we have it. So I will put a print here just to show you how it works. So we will call it del was called. And how does it work? So you remember init, which is called when you create an instance of a class. So this one, the del, is going to be called whenever an instance is deleted. So what we can do, we can actually create an instance of our class. So we will do like this, and then we can directly delete it. So to do that, you have to call the del operator from Python and just do this. And that's it. So let's go ahead and run it and see what will happen. So we have our message, del is called, the one which is happening here. And this is how it basically works. If we don't create an instance, we just do it like this and we run it. As you can see, nothing will happen. So it actually is something like init, but vice versa. Now let's try and do not do the del here. Just, just run the instance creation, just like that, and see what happens. And as you can see, it is still being called because when the script is ended, the garbage collector starts and it also removes all the objects. So this is what is actually happening here in this case, that we didn't call that del operator from Python, but we actually created an object, and once the script ran to an end, or our application would run to an end, then the garbage collector actually sees that, okay, we have to do the delete. It does the delete, and because we have this delete inside of this class, this would be called, and we will see the message again. How can you use it? So the del method is very convenient when you want to automatically remove some resources, to do a cleanup basically. So once you put some logic into the del method, as you remember, if the script ends, the garbage collector is going to call it, and you're going to remove some stuff from this resource. So for example, if you have a class that creates files, this is what we're going to do in a moment, and then you create a file in an init, and then you have a del magic method defined where you remove this file, then at the end of the script the file is going to be removed, which is kind of cool. But we can go a little bit further and actually create a more sophisticated, let's say, mechanism of collecting and removing the resources. So let's go ahead and try it out. So we will start with this class implementation. I will call it custom file, let's say. And this custom file is going to have an init, which, we want an init first. Init, okay. And here we're going to pass the file name and we're going to pass the content for this file. Okay, now we can do just with open file name. We will open it for writing, and we will do sf, and then we will just write to this file. Just like this. Okay, so we have our class which actually opens the file, writes to it the content that we provide, and we can test whether it works. So let's go ahead and create this custom file object, and we will call it, let's say, a.txt, whatever, and we will put some content here. Okay. Let's try to run it, see what happens if we spoiled something. So let's see. Yeah, so here we have our a.txt. It has been created, and if we open it, we can see some content. So let's imagine that we actually don't want this file to stay after we finish the this script execution. For some reason, we just used it somewhere, you know, uploaded it somewhere or something, and then we just want to remove it from our local file system. So to do that automatically, we are going to use the del magic method. So now we need the del, and we need to remove this file. In order to remove the file, we have to access the file system. So I'm going to use my favorite pathlib. By the way, there is a good video about pathlib, so check it out if you are interested in such stuff. But we're going to use pathlib here to, first of all, get the path of our file. So yeah, path, and we need to pass the file name here. So what we're going to do, we need to create a new attribute, file name, let's say like this, and then we can use it here. And of course, this is not perfect because you should actually provide the path to this file, but we will just do it like that for simplicity. So if you are writing something like this, please provide the full absolute path for this, because otherwise you might run into some problems. But here we're going to be very simple about this. So we're going to call it, file path. And then at the end, we're going to do file path dot unlink. Unlink removes the file. So let's try it out. Let's call it b.txt. I will put a breakpoint here and run it in the debugger so that we can see that the file was actually created and then it was deleted. So let's try it out. Debug. Okay. where in the delete, as you can see, we haven't done the del operator, but we actually got here. This is because the script has ended and the garbage collector started its work. So let's actually refresh this one. We will see our b txt with some content. So if we run it further, as you can see, it has been removed. So this stuff works. But now let's imagine that we have multiple files, so it will basically work without any problems. But if we have some tests and we don't want to finish it just by the end of the scripts, what we could actually do, and what is very cool here, is that we could, because we have this delete here, it will work not only with garbage collector and not only with the del operator, but if you use it somewhere inside of other structures, like for example a list. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we will do resources list, and it's going to be a list, and we will just go ahead and do resources append, and we're going to put our custom file here. And then at some point, let's say we have to run the cleanup, so we did some stuff already. Let's say we ran some tests, or we did some operations with this custom file or these custom files basically, and we want to clear the resources. So what we're going to do here is we are going to clear the list just like that. And let's try to run it. So I will put a breakpoint here again, and yeah, let's keep it here, and let me run it in the debugger. So as you can see, delete was not called yet. We haven't been here. The resources already contain our custom file object, as you can see here, and because we have made the append, and now we're ready to start clearing it. So let's go further. And here we go, we're in the delete, and this is happening actually because we're doing the clear operation here. So if we refresh this one, we'll see B. If we go further, we will no longer see it. So let's actually add a couple of resources, a couple of files, so DCD, let's say, and then we will do something like that at the very end, and we will create an OTXT so that we can see that actually everything works fine. Let's actually put a print at the end so that we see what happens. So we will have end of the script here, and I will put a breakpoint here so that we can see what happens after this append. So let's try to run it in the debug mode. Here we go, let's refresh it. We have ABCD, so they were created. Now, if we go one step forward and refresh, you see they have been deleted. Now we go one step further and we refresh. We see the O, it was created. And now if we run it further, then everything was actually removed. So this is how this del magic method can be used. There are multiple other options, but this is a very good way to use it for cleanups. So as you can see, magic methods of Python are pretty cool. So today we learned the first one, and it already gives you a lot of functionality. So for example, if you want to remove something when the script ends and the garbage collector is starting to remove the objects, then you can place this something into this magic method, the del magic method, and it's going to be executed once the object is being removed. And what is also cool, that you might do this not directly, not through the script and the garbage collector, not even with calling the del operator from Python, but it's going to be done in background when you, for example, just clear the list or remove this element from the list. So whenever the object is being deleted, then this method is going to be called. Use cases, so cleanups for tests or for anything else. Also, you might want to use it when you connect somewhere to the database and you then work with some model, and at the end you delete the object of this model and you want to close the connection to the database. So this is another example how you can actually use it as well. So I wish you to have a lot of experiments with the Dell method, and I hope you will find it useful. I wish you a very happy coding as usual, and I see you in 1 week.